carry on being the person you were before. You shouldn't. You know, you've got a duty to that little person that you've just brought into the world. I really do think that, and I do disapprove of people who just carry on as normal. I've got so many friends who just, their lives haven't changed even slightly. You know, and I know you can slot kids into your life to a certain degree, but, you know, I know women who have full-time live-in nannies and they don't even go to work. They just carry on as normal. No, but what's the point? I don't understand what the point is. What's the point in having the kids if you don't want to stay at home and look after them?
Yeah, but that's extreme. I mean, how many people are in that situation? But, I mean, if you're talking about people who are young and they're used to having a good time and going out, I mean, do you want to suddenly sort of turn them into these sort of matronly, mumsy type people? I mean, I'm surprised at you, actually.
No, but you shouldn't go out as much as you used to. You should stay in a bit more. You should start behaving a bit like a grown-up. You can't just carry on like you were before. If you got, did you do that when you had your kids? You were quite young when you had yours.
I was only 18 when I had mine. I was 18 when I had my son. He's now 10, but at 18 you still want to go out and party with your friends, you know. But I didn't do that. I did that when I didn't have my children, when they were with their father or whatever. That was my time to do what I wanted to be on my own. But when you are the primary carer of your child and you're going home, you don't want to be rolling in at all hours absolutely out of your face. I do think it's irresponsible.
Right. Well, OK. Well, you lived through it at that age, which was young, so we'll talk more about that after the break. And we'll also be talking to gorgeous oarsman James Cracknell, plus Meera Syal's here, and we open our post bag to give you all some advice after these. To women in just a few minutes, the man on a mission to break a world record, Olympic gold medal winner James Cracknell's here, and the delightful Meera Syal too. Now, we've been talking about whether or not you should really calm down your behaviour when you become a mum, and you were saying, Kim, that you took that very seriously even at 18. You thought, right, well, not no more partying, but you seriously changed.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to. When you make that decision, yes, I'm going to bring a child into this world, they automatically, you know, they can't have a parent who's going to be a bad role model for them. So if you're going out and coming home and you're drunk and it's all, do you know what I mean? And they're seeing that, it's not really posting a good image to them, is it? I think it's irresponsible, to be honest.
Yeah, I just don't think it's, you know, the right behaviour. I know it does sound kind of Victorian, but if you've got a baby, you should stay in and look after it. You shouldn't go out partying all the time. You know, I always think if I was a baby, I wouldn't want to be waking up to a different strange face every night. I want to be waking up to my mum or my dad.
Yeah, but you're exaggerating again, as you always do.
You do.
But it's just a case of a balance, isn't it? Nobody's thinking it every night. But I mean, my mum and dad, and I'm sure most mum and dads, well, my generation's parents, my mum and dad would go out every weekend. They had some dance or whatever. They had a social life. They were fun people. They were going out. You don't suddenly turn into this kind of little crone. I mean, OK, you know that I'm not a great drinker, and I would hope that Charlie wouldn't see me drunk. Well, maybe at the rap party on Wednesday, but you know, you've still got to be social and be out. I mean, you seem to have this idea that if you have a child, that you would just absolutely reduce into this little thing. You wouldn't work, would you?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I know, but no, I definitely wouldn't. I can't. I would want to be there every day. If I had a baby, I'd want to be there every day that it was growing up. Because I do. That's why I don't have them. Because I'm not going to do that.
I think
if I can't bring a baby up the same way as my mum brought me up, then I don't want to do it. And
but you said to me before that your mum was miserable a lot of the time.
Yeah. Because she was made miserable by men.
Yeah, no,
not by us.
Yeah, but maybe if she
we
had...
brought joy to her life. So no.
I'm sure you did, but maybe she had another life. Sorry, Kim.
That's all right. It's just that if you don't, you've got to give yourself some time. I have friends who absolutely live for their children, do everything day to day for them, and yes, that is right to a certain degree, but you've got to have time for yourself or you'll just lose your identity.
No, you do need time for yourself, I agree, but what I'm saying is there are an awful lot of women now who have kids, have babies, and they just carry on their lives as if nothing has changed. As soon as they can, they get the nanny, they go straight back to work, and it's like get home when the baby's asleep, get up, go to work before the baby wakes up. What's the point?
Well,
I don't understand.
I honestly think also women have got it pretty difficult these days as well, because most women have to go out to work because it's a financial thing. And childcare costs so much now.
Oh, you're
You
not
know, so
kidding.
it's a financial thing
So
as
you're
well.
going
But
to
I'm
work
think-
to pay for the babysitter.
But Kim, I'm thinking back to you because I
Pointless.
remember watching Pop Stars, you know,
Yeah.
obviously never having met you at that time. And,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if people remember, the story was that you had not told them that you had kids.
Yeah.
And then it sort of came out in the press that you had kids. And there was a little bit of negative reaction to that, wasn't it?
There was.
That you'd kind of sidelined the children to have this great pop star career.
It wasn't actually all the truth, surprise, surprise.
Yes.
But, you know, I had told them that I had children. It was just, you know, it was all kind of hyped up for TV purposes, really. But the main thing for me was I did get absolutely slated by certain newspapers, mainly tabloids. And what used to irritate me was that a lot of it was women that were actually doing the you know, the kind of nitpicking and being, women should stay at home when they've had a baby, how dare she go off and kind of... I did that to make a better life for my kids. I didn't want to live off the benefit of the government. I didn't want to be in a house I could never afford to buy.
But you weren't a single mum by choice. You weren't choosing to live off benefits. You were a single mum by default. It wasn't your fault.
I was.
So if you're going out to improve your lot, then to a point, that's fine.
To a point?
No, what I'm talking about is the women who really can afford not to go to work, but do it because I've got to go to work, otherwise I'm nobody.
Like me?
Well, yeah. No, not because you don't do a proper job, do you? You don't.
No.
You know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't go to work every day.
Do you know what? I mean, I've said this before, but I mean, my mum and dad both worked. They have a business, and my mum. I've always known my mum to work, and I really liked that fact. And I can remember the mums that didn't work, and I'm not saying all of them, but an awful lot of them were bored, were bitter, were either on Cook and Sherry or Valium. They were not necessarily. No,
Well, then they made the wrong choice.
Seriously.
They made the wrong choice.
Well, no, because it's a balance, you know. But you know,
Yeah.
you don't know that word balance. You know, it's just like black or
Very
white.
balanced.
Anyway, let's go into emails and not have an argument. Have you got email? Have you got emails on this? This is from Sophie in Plymouth, who says, I have a friend who changed her life completely since having children. She used to be at every party with a bit of a wild child, but she's been there, done it, now a responsible parent. And if you're known for being a party animal as a single 20-something, you should calm down when you grow up.
Yes.
I agree
See?
with that. I agree with that. I've got one here that says, I have a friend who I'm rather worried about. She's a single mum with a 5-year-old daughter. She has a great job, so she's not short of money, but she loves a drink after work. I'm sure she loves her daughter, but she often leaves her with a babysitter and comes home drunk to her. I don't know what I can do to help. She just doesn't want to seem to change from her old ways.
See, there you go. Another one here. Why should we automatically stop having fun when we become mums? If you can afford a nanny like Kate Moss, then why not go out and party? Well, what's the point? I don't understand. Don't have a baby then if you don't want to stop going out partying. Carry on partying. Do what I do.
Calm down.
Sorry.
Right, I've got one here. I'm 30. This is Kathy from Farnham. I'm 31 and I've got 2 children. And there's no way I'm ready to stop having a life and staying in knitting every night just because I've got a family. I really admire Kate Moss for managing to have it all and don't think she should be criticised for not being a conventional middle-aged mother.
Quite right. I'm going to find some way of secretly making Carol pregnant so they can just stay in every night and see if they like. Just one on the we've got lots on the remedies actually, but this is, I'm 55 years of age. This is Mary in Wiltshire. Believe it or not, ladies, the secret to my youthful looks is no more than a spoonful of mayonnaise on my face. I've used this trick once a day for the past 15 years. You should try this out, Jane. You look about my age.
Darling.
No.
Mary is being very mean there, and I should have
Yeah.
read that out, shouldn't I? Or that's it. That's all we've got time for. Now age
what?
just now age just 33, and I wonder if he's smooth mayonnaise in his face because he might look younger than that. He's already netted 2 Olympic goals and an OBE from the Queen. Not bad for a geography teacher from